It is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, and after several weeks away, I am here to write another puzzle on stream for your entertainment and edification. I have had a productive month off from working on my Patreon, I would say. Excuse me. I have made a lot of progress on my puzzle hunt, Project Raw, and it's still a ways away before I get this ready. I have many more puzzles to write, but progress has been good, and I will have that. Um, I look forward to being able to work on that more later. And excuse me. Um, and what else has been going on? I've also taken some time to do some social things and take care of some other things that I didn't really have time to do while I was getting a Patreon puzzle out each week. But February is almost up, and March I will be resuming my almost weekly puzzle posts. So I better get started on new puzzles. I forgot one moment. I forgot to share to do the screen sharing. All right. So this week I thought I would do. Hang on. Just noticed that the text of the title is going off of the screen. Let's make this a little smaller. Okay. Uh, the puzzle type is so long that it was going out of my text box. And so hopefully that is more legible. Uh, yeah, I'm back to writing puzzles for Patreon. I have some other interesting things coming up. I've been uh, asked to write some logic puzzles for something coming up this spring that most of you will not be getting to see. Um, it's a more private thing, but I'm looking forward to that. It's mostly logic puzzles, which I don't usually get to do anymore because I've turned my Patreon to focusing on word puzzles. So usually it's just like, I might have some puzzle hunt puzzles that are based on logic puzzles, but not much pure logic anymore. And so it's nice to get to do some of that, even though I feel like it's definitely I'm not as skilled of a logic puzzle constructor as I am of a word puzzle constructor. I still think that I'm pretty good, especially at coming up with interesting variants, which is a large part of what I'm going to be using for the upcoming commission. Although I shouldn't count on there's still some negotiation up in the air on that. And hopefully it won't take too much time away from my other things. Uh, let's see what's going on. If you're here, I am hi. I hope this is more satisfying to watch than other things that might be going on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 24th. I sure think so. Um, I uh, I am doing. I've had a bit of a weird last couple of weeks. My partner came down with mono, and Um, I have so far escaped having it, but I need to get tested to see if I have the antibodies for Epstein-Barr virus. And if I do, then I would not be susceptible to catching it from my partner. I was going to go get tested on Friday, but I showed up after the lab was closed. Didn't realize they closed at 4. And then we had the big snowstorm over this weekend, so going out yesterday was not a good idea, and or today. But things have cleared up around here. We were not in in the area north of Boston. We were not hit nearly as hard as other places in the area. I would say we got maybe a little more than a foot of snow. Um, we might get some more snow later this week. But at any rate, tomorrow I plan to go get tested to see if I have the Epstein-Barr antibodies, and if so, my partner hasn't had to isolate. We've just had to restrict our activities, and it would be nice to maybe not have to restrict our activities. Um, so that'll be good if that can happen. Uh, anyway, this puzzle. So I'm doing Consonant Companions today. This is a puzzle type that was um, created by Eric Berlin. I have made this once before in August of last year, and this is um, basically you have two grids where where some of the letters are shaded in each grid, and the shaded letters represent the consonants, and the you put different words in each grid, but the sequence of consonants is the same, even though the words will be broken up differently and the vowels can be wildly different. So here in the first grid, I have prerequisite and on balance, and in the second grid, I have uproar for the PRR of prerequisite. Questionable has has the QST of prerequisite and the NBL of on balance, and so forth. And I think this is a fun type. It because you only are having to deal with the consonants. There's a lot more room to sort of stretch out and have lots of long answers. I think it's nice. So I am happy to come back to it today. So let's say that this is 202604, I think, because I already have most of the puzzles for March lined up. So I think this will actually be. Actually, no, I might be missing. March is a 4 puzzle month. So let's say that it's 03. Um, do I have the conditional formatting here? Yes. So I have conditional formatting here that will shade all of the consonants green and all of the vowels this, I don't know, pinky white. And any Y's will be flagged as red because consonant companions should not have Y's in it, just to avoid the ambiguity of whether Y's are considered vowels or consonants. Um, excuse me. I'm thinking about, since this will go out in March or April, that maybe having some seed entry about that's sort of related to spring. Um, Hmm. Let's see. Equinox, just the Q and the X are just going to be difficult to deal with. Um, Maybe something like spring break, a spy ring, and then mm, keeper. How do you spell Birkenstocks? That way. Hmm. So something that's just like hmm. So obviously you could have in stock, but Birkenstock with A, the overlap of Birkenstock and in stock is not interesting. It's pretty obvious. And also, I don't want the words to end in the same place from here on out until we get to the end. So we could have like unseat. And sometimes we'll have um, words like unseat could also be like inset or nest, depending on whether I need to adjust the length of the string to fit. In this case, I have 121 letters to go in an 11 by 11 grid. Hmm. Excuse me. Gonna sneeze. Hmm. So I've previously, for CK and the previous puzzle, had cookies and cream. So I think maybe I will have some other CK start. So it could be like cake. Um, what? Cake. Cakewalk isn't so good because I don't think there's going to be other good things for WLK. Um, why do they have cake decorators but not cake decorator? Hmm. Maybe cake batter. And then over here we have buttress. And then ASS what? Um, assemble, assign, assist. Um, I mean, I could also just do something like asshat, but I want I want something long. Most of the compounds with ass tend to be shorter, more succinct. Maybe, uh, oops, assurance. And then over here, ranch dressing. Headers. Hmm. So I could do something like gilt or eaglet, or I could do agile. What's the subtitle of the Bridget Jones sequence? The Edge of Reason? Well, that's the 2025 one. The Edge of Reason. Okay. G F R. Yeah, yeah. Snaggle. So let's do Let edge of reason. And then maybe get some. So that's the SN of reason. And I was then going to say nurse, but this is kind of like I'm getting a lot of similar patterns in the two grids, so maybe um, see see no evil, and then we have the VL. Could have like Ovaltine. Um, Evaluation, which are both consonant C's. Either of those would do. Veal Scallopini. Um, Available. Let's try that. I had to get a new keyboard because several keys were starting to not work. I considered trying to get it fixed, and then I saw that I'd had that keyboard for nearly 20 years. And this new keyboard, the light that goes on to indicate the caps lock is on is nowhere near the actual caps lock button, so I keep forgetting whether or not it's on. I am used to the light to indicate caps lock being on the caps lock button. It just makes a lot more sense to me. I don't know if that's a Mac thing or what. I did not get an Apple keyboard because those are just too expensive. Especially because I wanted a wired keyboard. And those were like $40 more expensive from Apple for some reason. I don't like wireless peripherals because I don't like worrying about them being charged. I mean, sure, things like Bluetooth headphones and whatnot, but I don't like a wireless mouse or a wireless keyboard. And what I didn't notice was that the keyboard that I got comes with its own Microsoft Copilot button, which when pressed presumably brings up Microsoft Copilot, except I don't use Windows. I was very irked when I found out about this, but since I don't use Windows, I don't need to worry about accidentally bringing up AI crap. Because I don't want AI to touch anything that I do puzzle related. Um, that's one thing that you are not going to see from me. Available. I could also have it be something like available now, but the BLNW is not so good unless there's like a British town called Blenheim. There's probably a British town called Blenheim, but I don't want to use a British town called Blenheim. Oh wait, baleen whale. That's cool. Yeah, one of the things that I like about this is that I can often get very far without having to look anything up. Not very many uh, dictionary searches. All right. So now we have something that starts with um, HL, could be halter top, could be helio something. Um, hell something, help, hole, hollow. Healthcare, health. I don't want health insurance. I mean, I do want health insurance in general, but I don't want health insurance in this puzzle since I already have assurance. Um, so let's maybe go with hey. No, no. Ah, undeleted, undeleted. Hail, storm. Could also be hails a cab, and then scab. Night. Night what? Night watchman. Night veil. Night. Hmm. So whatever this is going to have HT from night is going to be the start of the um, other answer. Night school. Night club. Mm. Hmm. I wonder if there's any good Hotel F. Hotel food? Hotel for dogs. Hmm. So I was thinking nightlife. Um, hmm. How about a night to remember, and then maybe just mommy, and then something with BR. Because I don't want to have. I'm pretty sure that remember and member are, even if they're not etymologically related, they're just too similar to each other. And you can't have like Mamba or Mambo, because then you'll just have the. I like to have at least two consonants overlapping each set of words. Um, so now we have something with BR. We've already had break, so nothing about that. In between break and Burke, we don't want a K. It could be like bread. Maybe. Oh, no, I was going to have bread and circus and dancer, but then I remembered that I was forgetting a D in and. Could still have bread. Um, or breath. Um, Braille. Uber Eats. aubergine. Aubergine is a fun word, but I don't know if Americans will be familiar enough with that. I guess we could have Abraham Lincoln. Can't have homily because that has a Y. I mean, there's Hamlin, who was Abraham Lincoln's first vice president, and there's also Hamlin with an E, excuse me, uh, where the Pied Piper was from, or where the Pied Piper visited. Um, where he, where the Pied Piper city, whatever. Stop asking so many questions. Um, hmm. It's like and not. See if we got anything else. Humulin? Is that something? Is this really that? Ooh. I don't know where that H came in. That's probably what's slowing it down. Home loan. Or home alone. Okay. And then, how many letters do we have left? U, G. 14 letters here, and 11 letters here. So we could probably have like one word here and one or two words here. So this would be clean something, or clone. C, star L star N. At least two more consonants after that. And actually, let's say that it begins with C. It's going to be a lot. Most of this is clean. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a good one word here. So it's probably two words for the 14 and one word for the 11. It's like um, Clone Wars. Maybe. These two more consonants. Nah. Hmm. Bother. Clean. Cleaners. Um, hmm. I'm sorry, I have to pause to go to the bathroom. I'll be back shortly. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. I think maybe instead of yeah, cleaners, and then we have. No, let's make this. All right, let's see then. dr dr. Let's see. So in the 9 letters after dr, I need at most 4 consonants to really make it work. So that's 5 vowels. So we'll do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. I think we could have, yeah, dromedaries and Madras. So, let's see. So, in grid 1, so spring break, unseat, cake batter, assurance, headers, snaggletooth, gopher, see no evil, baleen well. Did I spell that right? Okay, that is correct. I suppose I could have done baleen wells and then TRM, but I did what I did. Abraham Lincoln, dromedaries. Ranch dressing, eaglet, the edge of reason, available now. Hailstorm, a night to remember. Is that about the Titanic? Yeah, about the sinking of the Titanic. Oh, shoot. I completely forgot that I was thinking that I had Hatter in A Night to Remember, but then forgot to put it in. So everything is messed up. I need to go back. So I keep A Night to Remember. I take out everything there. So we take out all of that. Oops. On borders. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to merge them. I just wanted to remove the border. All right. Header. Ooh, ma, me. Ooh. So what did I have? Abraham Lincoln. I think I could still do that. So header. And remember, I can uh, play with some of these words like umami and unseat to have the same consonants but different lengths if I need to, if I have trouble reaching the exact Abraham Lincoln. This might be a little bit tricky. I might need to shrink a couple of things. So put Home Alone back in. Let's see. So now I'd want to have something like clean. Cleaners. And so then so the problem is in order to get, all right, so I shrink something. Umami could become mime. Unseat could become onset. Let's, for the sake of my, of just not having to clean up as much, have something like 14. And or maybe it's cleans up. No, I don't like cleans up because that's going to get us back to SP. And although it's in a different position, it just feels a little weird. So cleaners. So we could have something like rustic. Problem is with only 6 letters here, it's hard to get more than 2 additional consonants. R dot S consonant star rascal. Well, Italia O'Toole. O'Toole. Is it usually spelled nookie or nookie? I-E or E? They say with a Y is the more common one. Oh, but it needs to be start with K anyway. So ignore everything I said because I was thinking of reskin. Um, oh, that's not good. Saying that a coolie means different things in different contexts. Uh, let me see, what were the words that I used in here? Okay, let's go with roster and O tour. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, and 12 on this one. This was 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so it was this. In the previous one, I also had 26 words total, so seems to be pretty good on balance. Not that there's anything wrong with having more words, but like you can see, so like here, ranch dressing is a 12 letter entry with only 3 vowels. And in the same part over here, I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vowels over the same set of consonants. So there can often be a lot of give and take between the balance of and actually going uh yeah, this whole sequence, Birkenstock, buttress, ranch dressing, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vowels in that. Whereas we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, 17 vowels in the same period here. So that's part of why it was a little bit hard to end up in the same place, because I had more vowels on one side than the other. And you really want to, I guess, now that I've done a couple of these, one of the things you want to do is if you've got a consonant heavy word on one grid, you want to balance it with a consonant heavy word in a different part of the other grid. And similarly for vowel heavy. Otherwise, it will be hard to get them to line up right. You know, there's nothing that says you have to have the 2 grids be the same number of letters, but it just looks, I think it would look unsatisfying if they did be asymmetrical. So there you have another Consonant Companions. This might be my extra bonus for the month of March, or it might be a puzzle for early April. Mm. And I have some good long entries on both sides. I have Spring Break, Cake Batter, Snaggletooth, See No Evil, Baleen Whale, Abraham Lincoln, Birkenstock, Ranch Dressing, The Edge of Reason, available now, Hailstorm, A Night to Remember, Home Alone. Wow, that's 3 movies in the second grid. I wasn't really thinking about that at the time, but that's how it is. Uh, and, you know, very different A Night to Remember is, I think, from the 50s. Home Alone is from the early 90s. The Edge of Reason is, I think, early 2000s. Bridget Jones' Edge of Reason. 2004. Yep. And I also have auteur in there, which is usually used to refer to a film director. But it wouldn't be one of my puzzles without an unusual preponderance of something. Movies is a bit unusual as a thing to have a preponderance of. For me, it's usually like music or geography or food. We do have cake batter. Um, and I suppose I could, um, instead of having unseat and mime, have onset and umami, uh, which I might still do just for a little bit more food. I don't really have any music in here, do I? No. Well, that's that's one puzzle. Um, am I gonna do anything else? Maybe. So, what have I got in here? I've got um, so I'd probably want no, Crushword Spiral. This. So maybe I will try to do some more work on this. Last time I streamed, I talked a little bit um, about a new way of making spiral grids. Um, where the heck did I put it? Mm, okay. Oh, let me switch to the. Ah, what? Ah. Okay. Let's go to Inkscape. So last week I talked about a new way that I had learned from Kiara Vasquez of making spiral grids. And so let's see. Um, all right, so we do this, we make all of that white. Um, Actually, let's start fresh here. I'll show it to you again in case you weren't here previously. So, step one is to make a spiral. One, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So turns, 4 turns. What? I don't understand. 5. Whatever. So you make a spiral, something like this. Um, do I want it this big? Maybe we'll make it a little bit, make the center a little bit smaller. We'll take this, we'll rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Let's also flip it horizontally, just because I'm going to make it turn clockwise to go in. Wait, no, we're in the northern hemisphere. It would go counterclockwise to go in. All right, so we're going to make a spiral grid. Step one is to use the spiral tool to draw a spiral, but we're going to mess with it. First of all, stroke style. Let's do this. Well, actually, let's go back to the spiral tool. So it's like inner radius 0.355. Is that? So is that in inches? 0.35. 0.3. I don't know what 0.355 was then. Okay, 0.2. So we want to choose a width that's going to basically not quite fill up this space. And we're also going to make this a dashed line, custom dash, and the pattern is going to be something like 2, 0.05. And we're going to adjust this and adjust some other parameters of this so that we get 50 of these dashes. And we also want let's make the second number a little bit smaller for now to make it a little more even with the gaps between the rows. All right. Great. Now let's see how many things there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 53 and a 53 and a smidge. So to get from 53 to 50, that's 6%. So let's add 6% to the first part. See where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Great. So let's see if we can get rid of, that's a little bit too much. So 2, 5, 2, 3, 2, 4. Okay. So now this is just about 5 exactly. Now you may notice a few things here. One is that this is just all one big thing. And secondly, the dashes are black, which makes it hard to put letters in them. And we are going to solve this issue by doing a couple of things. So we will go path, stroke to path. What this is going to do is take the dashed line and turn each of the dashes into its own path. What this currently is a single path, a single spiral path that goes clockwise for 5 turns. But the stroke that is drawing the path is wide and has this dash pattern. But if we do stroke to path, we've now broken it up and turned this into a whole bunch of different unique paths, one for each dash. Let's do that. We may want to do object or path break apart because we have, wait, why is this 28? Okay, forget I did that. Excuse me. All right. So we've done this. We're going to now make the fill of this new thing white and add a stroke to it. I am concerned about this being choppy like this. But let's go to pixels, make this 1 pixel to start. Yeah, that's a bit concerning. So let's go back to this. So stroke style, let's make this a little smaller, 3.7. Wait, no. 0.2. Oh, wait, I need to undo a little bit farther. So this is a spiral. All right, now it's a spiral. We'll do this back down to 0.2. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, let's do a slightly larger gap. So increase this to, 3. So my goal is to make the gaps between successive dashes in line to be about the same as the gaps between the rings. Let me zoom in a little bit and see. Probably want to make that a little bit more, like maybe 035. That's pretty good. The ones that are closer in will be a little bit pinched, um, just because things are tighter there. Um, it's really going radially. Um, all right. Now I need to make sure that there are, oops. Now I need to adjust the other part to get 50 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 51. All right, so 51, a little less than 51. So, again, go back. All right, go back to here. So we want to increase this by not quite 2%. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. But I still have like half a one, so that's like 1%. 6, 2, 6, 3. Okay. All right. Now let's try again. I think maybe I was cutting it too close with all of the margins before. So we're going to again go path, stroke to path, and let's see what happens when we go break apart 44 objects. Still concerning. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this, where sometimes they're merged like that. So let's, all right, I think maybe I need to decrease the width slightly. 9.5. So I just decreased it by 2.5%. So that's like 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Oh, wait. I need to increase the spacing on the other side. 4. Nah, that's at least 5. Let's put this at 5, 5, 6. 6 looks pretty good. All right. Now we scroll back out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Okay, I made the margins between them larger, so that became smaller. So 52, but it's the last one is not full, so I need to increase it by about 4%. Okay, so we just have a little more, just trying to get a sliver off of here. I think I like it a little better like this, so it's a little bit more offset. These don't line up quite exactly. All right, path, stroke to path. Let's just break apart just to see 50 objects. Lovely. So we'll still have this be one object. Stroke is now white. The fill is now white and the stroke is black. Still unsure what's going on there, but we'll go to pixels. We'll go 1 pixel. Oh, right. It's still dashed. Ha 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 ha. No dashes. Hmm. Maybe we'll do it with 1 pixel and just have there be this little gap. Oh, but the gap between rings is larger than the gap between dashes, so all right. So we'll make this larger, which means we need to make this smaller. Uh, five. Okay, that's that's more even. Although now that I realize that the problem was with it being dashed, no, we'll do this. All right. Stroke to path. Mm, mm, mm. With 1 pixel, no dashes. And we could maybe even give it a little bit of a... No. I was considering giving it a shadow, but the shadow doesn't look good when I print it out. So here is the base grid. I could make the... If I wanted to eliminate all of these gaps, I could try to get it all to... It does still seem... Well, you can play around with the exact amounts of the widths and the dashes to get the pattern that you like. But I'm going to go with this. And now I'm going to add in the letters from the spiral that I made. Oh, nope. First, I'm going to do some more important things. We're going to resize content. Except we'll make it a little bit larger because it likes to put yeah. Because when it does this, it kind of go away. All right, turn off snapping for a moment. And over here. Okay, I guess I need to make it even bigger. Oh, I'm I am pushing the wrong decimal place. I was like, why isn't it getting bigger? Because it is getting bigger, but not big enough because I am adjusting the thousandths place rather than the hundredths place. Um, the resize to content will not include the stroke width in the size of the content, so I have to like I can't just automatically size it to that, or it will cut off the outer bits of the stroke. Now, one thing that I want to do here, which I can do, is to slightly, ooh, um, nudge. Nope. All right, we're gonna go here. Gonna slightly nudge. Nope, nope. We can nudge individual points in these paths. To make this line up a little more nicely. Oh, that's the problem. push these around for ages. Let me just try to take care of the worst offenders. Yeah, on a couple of these, it's a little annoying that the two, some of the handles line up on top of each other. The process of converting the stroke to a single path is sometimes a little weird. Um, so one way to get around this is to, if you've gotten um, if you get the gaps between the between the rings of the spiral and between the, what is going on here? And between the dashes to be small and consistent, you can just increase the stroke width of these items so that they merge. If I had a wider stroke width here, instead of having these things gapped, you'd just see single lines, but you'd still have each cell as its own part of the path that you could break apart if you needed to. In order to have more control over more control over positioning, and if you wanted to do something special about how you enter words into these. Yeah, I had previously used this method to make a full-size spiral grid that I've used, but I haven't done one for the Crushword Spiral grid, which is only, you know, which is 50 spaces, but larger because you're fitting in multiple letters. Um, um, what's going on there? Yeah, there are a couple of places where whenever the handles are on top of each other, the path goes a little bit weird. This has happened several places. What is going on here? So I should say this is in contrast to the way that I originally made my own spiral grid, which was by making a spiral with a normal line width that was like 6 turns, and then drawing in lines separating the cells of the grid by hand, effectively, um, and by and eyeballing it so that they weren't exactly regular. They weren't, always pointing quite in the right angle. They weren't regularly spaced. So one of the huge advantages of this is that the way that this is done using a dashed line, it just takes care of the spacing for you immediately. What's going on here? Another one of these. So that's just something that you like don't have to fuss over. You have to fuss over getting the number exactly right to get the number of cells you want, but that's just pushing a number, you know, incrementing a number by thousandths until it gets the right um, amount. The, Inkscape or Illustrator, there are ways to do this on Illustrator, is doing all the work there for you. I don't know why these angles are sometimes inconsistent. Um, Again, like this could be minimized by getting the spacing between dashes to be thin, which also requires having the spaces between rings to be pretty thin unless you want them to overlap with each other. I mean, you don't have to have the same spacing between rings and between dashes. I just think it has a nice look when they are like this. All right, here we have another wired. All right, just need to get that there. And there's always some weirdness when you're converting from the stroke of the spiral to a path. How it chooses to do that conversion, uh, since it's no longer like it has a special tool to handle making a spiral, but once you break it into pieces, this and make them each their own entity, this like this collection of pieces is not a here. Let's no. All right, now that we've done this, let's path break apart. So we now have 50 objects. So I can select one of them, this one here. Um, like if you look at the path of it, it's now become a series of lines and Bezier paths with control points. And here we only need like 3 control points on each side of the curve. But on this one on the inside, we have what looks like, a couple dozen on each side. And partly that's because as the curve gets tighter, the um, it feels like it needs to make more adjustments in order to stay to adhere to what the original spiral path was. But there's always compromises made in this. There are approximations and rounding errors and whatnot, so it's not going to be perfect, which is why it's can be good to embrace there being space in there, and not worry so much as I just have about getting all of the things exactly right. Okay. All right. 5. Oh yeah. Let's make this that. Okay. So we'll save. Let's go to layers, spiral path, dashed line. Oh yeah, I had originally made it with doing a dat. All right. So spiral cells. And we'd want a layer that's like grid numbers, and another one that's solution text. Save. Um, not going to worry about putting the grid numbers in right now, but I will put in the solution text. Let's see. Let's make these like that. Of course, at some point I'll have to oops. Oh, I could do this. I'll do that. All right. I'll worry about rotating them in place after I have done these. Um, Although sometimes I just use differing sizes. I'll decide how I feel about this. So let's see. Roundhouse Bella office space. FF. This is, by the way, this is a puzzle that I wrote back in January to go up next month. Space. And I am referring to the text on a different Berliner in the tank. tank. We had bled. Add heart, chow flickered. I-C-K-E-D. Oh no, E-R. E-D. F-R. Fronted, uncoupled, strung kimonos. On strung, rung, and kimonos. All right. I think I'll keep it rotated so that it's like, I'm going to change the orientation whenever it passes 90 degrees. Oops. And then I can also, I don't know why it is switching from selection tools to text tools. Oh, didn't realize I could do a skew with that handle. I keep forgetting that you can just rotate items by grabbing their handles. I need to use that more often rather than like using the actual rotation tool and fiddling with the number of degrees that I need. I mean, using the rotation tool is great when it needs to be precise. Like if I need to do, you know, things spaced at 30-degree angles, that's going to be much better than me trying to rotate them with the handles. also possible to kind of do this by having the original spiral path still, like, if you have a copy of the original spiral that this was based on. Oops, I wanted to keep these this way up. Uh, oops. Um, if you have a copy of the original spiral that we derived uh, all these paths from, you can basically make text flow along the spiral path, but getting the spacing right for something like this would take an annoying amount of work. Like, you would be typing in, THELIGHTNING, and or probably you'd want to do it from the inside out. Um, but either way, it's just kind of weird to do it that way. The spacing, like, it'll just try to do all of the spacing by letter and not ignore the fact that sometimes you want two letters in one space, sometimes you want three. So I don't actually recommend doing it this way for this sort of thing. But if you have made one of these and you are doing a regular spiral um, with one um, letter per space, then what you might be able to do, and I might experiment with this myself, is use a monospace font and figure out the kerning that would make it so that you get one letter in each space when you uh, put the whole thing on the path. Next time I make a vanilla spiral, I am going to try that and we'll see if it works. It'll be an experiment. This was not so much of an experiment because I tried it for myself uh, before sharing it here. Uh, so yeah, uh, now obviously, so I gotta save this now as, you know, Crushword Spiral 202603 Sol grid. And then when I add in the numbers, I'll save that as a template elsewhere so I can reuse it. But I will be putting the numbers in a different layer and then probably deleting the solution text from this because I don't want my template to have the solution text of a particular puzzle, even if I wind up hiding it. Okay, that was a Consonant Companions and a spiral gridded for you. Let me just do a little bit of cleaning up of the. That's one thing other thing that would be nice about doing the uh, putting the text on a path is, again, it would be consistently spaced. Um, you could just have it be always in the center um, of the cells. Um, so um, that's it for tonight. Plan to be back next week now that I'll be back to doing stuff for Patreon. Although, truth be told, I don't know how much longer I will continue doing these streams because uh, it takes some time to do these, and if I don't regularly get people showing up to interact with, it's I have to sort of practice at being an extrovert in front of no one, which is a very weird and sometimes tiring thing to do. Anyway, if you are watching this afterwards on YouTube, hi, leave a comment, um, especially if you have any opinions on whether I should keep doing this. Um, but I will try to be back next week, and until then, oh, what? Oh, I never switched window. Huh? I'm very confused as to what I thought was the right window, but it apparently isn't. Or the screen. I, th- I think the screen share just wasn't updating. It's been. All right, let's go here and then back to here. Ah, I don't understand why it wasn't updating because it was looking at the correct window. But you never saw me working on this. So uh, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry that you didn't really get to see what was going on here. Um, Hopefully things will be a little bit more smooth next time I am here. But until then, happy solving.